Hello, good morning. Uh, I wanted to, people brought up, there's that thing about Forrest Fenn and the 15-foot rule kind of thing. Well, we can call it a 15-foot rule because he said, I don't, I don't see how it would be possible to be within 15 feet and not see it, kind of. That type of remark. I don't know if those are the exact words, but basically what he said. And many don't know. A lot of these, or some people do know. Well, why are your pictures foot? Because it's a long ways off. It's hard to get very close because of the terrain, you know. So this trove of art, it is mostly seen from more than 15 feet away. And if you're within 200 feet, 500 feet, you should see it. I think it's more than 15 feet away. He could probably say, oh, well, yeah, more than 15 feet. Yeah, he can see this stuff more than 15 feet away. Uh, but you need a zoom lens to get in there to see it. So that's the 15-foot rule. The other thing I want to bring up was in the poem. Look at the ends. Alone in there and in the wood. Alone in the wood. But wood means art. And so, well, he went alone in the art business. And if you're brave and in the art, if you can see the abstract art, hey, I got a mouse over here caught by 1 foot on a trap, and I gotta toss him out the door. There, he's crippled, but he's alive. He's outside. Yeah. There's some places, I don't know if mice they're getting in from somewhere. I thought I found a hole under the RV and I plugged it, and there's probably another hole somewhere. But it's like zombies; they just keep coming. No, he's got a broken back leg. One time the trap was sprung, and I wanted to open up the trap, and all that was there was a mouse's hand. It's like, oh man, brutal. There's crippled mice all over this field that I've got by the arm, the leg. There was a little baby mouse. I guess it got thrown out of the nest, and I put it in a big. I got a bunch of these. Jars, and so I had an empty one. And I put them in one of the empty jars. Jelly beans, yum yums. So, okay, back to what I was saying. Alone in there, the wood is art. Eric Sloan says wood is art. Salazar was carving the wood. The wood was brave because it didn't scream when Leo Salazar was carving Moses. It didn't complain. It's the brave wood, and so Moses is the brave one and the blaze, because if you watch the movie Moses, he goes up on the mountain to and the hand of God blazes the 10 Commandments into the tablets and cuts the tablets from the mountain. And basically, I'll bet you, and if they ever find the 10 Commandments, that it's written in the rock using that vitrification. They use magnifying glass to burn the message into the rock, like that one Indian figure I have. That the hair is, more Indians, but it's melted rock that they drew it with. They were melting the rock to make the art, and we can't do, or we don't have stuff. We could do that now, but they don't. Nobody does. I'm sure they could get. They got tunnel boring lasers and stuff that do that. Man, that probably have to be done by a robot and stuff, because that has got to stink real bad when getting all that heat and smoke. And so, everybody's still out there watching the Brady Bunch. This is a story. The little pictures all around the screen, and yeah, the inexperienced, the beginners. The beginner channel. But I'm the one that's close to it, and the thing is that the art is the stuff. So yeah, you're gonna see the art from, like, the gypsies. They're about 1,000 feet away at least, from where you see them. Way up on the cliff. You can't even get there. Well, you could walk around the mountain and up onto the top. Probably be a 4-mile hike each way, and you can't do that twice in a day. But you could maybe get to the bottom of it. But it's on that private property it's $1 million for each 7 acres. 7 acres, $1 million. 35 acres, $5 million. The Browns Ranch. It's being divvied up. He had it pretty well preserved, just a few homes. And now this company that bought it is dividing it up and selling acreage, and they're going to put a whole bunch more houses out there in the forest. So you could go out there and buy, if you think it's there. I don't think it's there. That's a waypoint, one of the bus stops on the way to the treasure. But that's the Brady Bunch. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't even have a warm water vault. I have a very good one. And you see, I actually found Forrest Fenn's trove of art. I found all of the art, and I found Moses. I found stuff that he didn't find. He told me, I'd never seen that before. So either he was being honest, or he was throwing a little deception in there that he had seen it before. I mean, the thing had his face on it and everything. So, and the teacher with the can opener and the Santa Claus and everything is there. But I guess maybe he figured it was too easy to get to there. I don't know, because I looked all over that spot and all over it with my metal detector to make sure it wasn't inside the rock. And it's not inside the rock. He says you don't have to break anything to get to it. And that should include breaking ground or digging. So, don't go out there, But one thing you need to know, when you're out there searching, bring your shovel with you. I bring an army shovel, because one thing, if you're in the national forest or national park, they require you to have a shovel for your campfire. So your excuse for having a shovel is for your campfire. To put out campfires. Okay? So you're allowed to bring your shovel with you. My metal detector fits in my backpack, so that's real cool. It's not hanging on the outside where you can see it. I could even show you my metal detector. Hey? No, I gotta go I have to get out of the bag. It's not hard. I'll be right back. Yeah. See, somewhere deep in space, What is the thing? A 5-year mission to explore the unknown reaches of space, searching for Forrest Fenn's gold. Okay, so this is the coil and the handle, and this is the remote. That you just clip it on your shirt. You swing this, you swing, you extend this out and swing it around with your arm and stuff. But this remote, it's got a thing you can strap it onto you can put it on your wrist. It's got a clip. You can hang it on your belt. And that's the remote for the metal detector. It's a DS, XPDS version 4. So, it's just got a few buttons. If I turn it on, it's going to scream because I'm inside a metal vehicle. But yeah, it's just you charge your remote, you charge up the coil, and it's waterproof. See, it's got a couple contacts here that you hook. Your charger connects right here, and it's got a little light here, flashes once a minute to let you know it's charged. Oh, there's the light. Yeah, it's on this side. See, flash. So that lets you know it's charged, it's ready to go. I charge it before I go out. But doesn't it look like Captain Kirk? Captain Kirk, bring me up. Beam me up. Yeah. Okay. And they brought up when he talks about Gardener's Island, that's a subtle hint. That's a subtle hint. He's actually talking about the other pirate movie, Long John Silver. And if that be his eyes and that be his nose, from his nose to his toes, points the way to the treasure. So, we got to keep that in mind. It might not, but I believe there are hints outside in the fringes that he brought up, like Captain Kidd. Maybe it scared him because he was on the wrong island. He was on Captain Kidd's island. He should have been on Long John Silver's island. So what's funny about those movies is, my ancestors are highly responsible for all the pirateers and pirates and stuff. The Governor General of Jamaica and Port Royal, the first English Governor General, was my 9th great grandfather, Major General Robert Sedgwick, and he captured Port Royal, which is basically right there in the harbor of Kingston, Jamaica. He captured that from the French in 1655 or 1653, some in the middle 1650s, and he was the governor and stuff, and ordered the construction of Kingston, Jamaica, and he allowed the pirates safe harbor in Jamaica, in Port Royal, from any prosecution as long as they only raided French ships. and so what it really was, it was like, okay, you can raid the French ships, and you got safe harbor here. So they raid the ships, and then they come spend all their plunder in town, and you know what I mean? It ends up in the crown's hands anyhow. Afternoon, West Virginia. My mother's from West Virginia and Pennsylvania. Born there in West Virginia, but grew up in Pennsylvania mostly. Weirton. Nice compass for your last video. Did you offer a price they couldn't? No, they're just buy now for $8.93. 892, something like that. Um, they're very very nice compass. I like it. I've already got it attached. It's on the belt for my backpack that goes around. I put it on that uh, strap. It has the belt loop thing on the little case it has, and so I not only put it in the little case, the string that's on it is around that belt also. In case that thing falls out of the case, it's still on the string. I got a White's pinpointer, $150 pinpointer up on the one hill up above where I was, that one area where above the wood, I'll say, where I found the wood cut out of the wood, out of the forest. And the word wood is grass. It's, it's wood. It says wood. It's the word wood. It's not actually wood. If you write wood on a piece of paper, that's wood, isn't it? And and but it's made of pencil lead, and just written on scribbled on paper. The word wood is wood, and it describes itself. Oh, Zana, very nice. He'll be back. Who'll be back? JC. Yeah, he's got Moses up here, man. That's I think I saw them for about $15 on eBay earlier today, but one could make an offer still. Wow. I promoted them, I guess, and look, sales are up. Charge more. eBay is yeah, I should tell you which one, exact name of the one. It's 890. eBay. Purchased. I was regularly clean my cookies out of my computer. It's like, man, why is it so slow? Gotta be them cookies. Gotta be the cookies. Professional military army geology compass for outdoor hiking, camping. $893. Item. Oh, I guess it's. Or does it have an item number? Where is the item number? I think it's item number 151431701347. Yeah, I'll show you the page. Oh. Yeah, I got the new. There it is. So that one. And it's $893. Buy another one. So yeah, you say they're 15? How many should I buy? Yeah. Moses, you may need to find you. Well, Enki actually looks kind of like Jesus. I thought he was Jesus at first, until I realized it was Enki, because it was the same as the one in Persia and over in Samaria. Let me see. I'll get his picture up. I'll get Enki's picture. Oh, there. He's on my. He's sitting in a throne. It's very obvious. Oh, it's on my last bunch of pictures I took. I might have trouble finding that real fast. So, and if I'm looking for it, it's hard to talk about other things, you know. He's. I'll get him up. I'll make a slideshow of the mammoth temples, and you see that. That's going to be. It's still related because his treasure's tied in with it. It's the art. That's what he wanted. He wanted somebody to discover these temples, ancient ruins, and it's not easy. You get a lot of criticism. You know, I don't only get criticism from other searchers. You get criticism from people that are supposed to be professional archaeologists, and when they can't see any of it, or they see how extraordinary it is, and then say, "Oh, it's natural," you can't help but go, there's a profanity alert. This other guy, H.A. Goodman, does that profanity alert. This person's fucking stupid. They're fucking blind and stupid. So you got to find the other. I did find the university professor, the guy that probably taught, instructed them. Says, "Oh yeah, those are good. That's real. You really did find something there. You got something big there." You know, and you're just imagining it. You're hitting that pipe up there too much. You know, they think. Oh no! See. They think it's because of the wacky tobacco, or, you know. I like this big black feather. I'd like to find a few more of them and maybe replace all these turkey feathers with these nice big raven feathers, you know. Yeah. So. Oh, there. My imagination just increased. So, yeah, you see, I got my eagle's upside down. Where's my eagle hanging by his feet? My eagle's been into the bowl. Okay. So this is my eagle pendant. I'll probably wear that. Go to Fenbury. Yeah. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's my old Abe eagle. You see his feet articulate, and his head does. His head has a hinge, and his feet have a hinge. See, he's headless. Now he has a head. But, yeah, and like yesterday, I had a hawk about 200 feet out in front of my RV chasing a meadowlark. Well, it's a friend said that's not a meadowlark, and you look, it looks just like a meadowlark. It makes the sound a meadowlark does. If it looks like it and sounds like it, it must be a meadowlark. Yeah, and there's a great story behind that. This peace pipe I got at the Abenaki Trading Post in just north of Manchester, New Hampshire, and it belonged to the Abenaki chief, the local chief up there, you know. But I guess he gave it up because it was dysfunctional. It didn't it didn't have a pipe going through it, And my tea's boiling over. Hang on one second. So anyhow, my ancestors were supposed to raided the Abenaki village and killed off, claimed to kill 200 of them for coming down and kidnapping the English and taking their scalps. And they found 600 scalps on their lodge poles outside their homes. Because the Indians, you know how they have, totem poles, it's a stack of animals on a pole kind of. Well, they had lodge poles in the East, and their lodge poles, they hang their trophies on it, maybe their animal heads, and they had the scalps that they had taken each out in front of their home. They had a pole showing their trophies that they carved off the tops of people's heads, really nice people. So that's why my ancestors went up there. And the movie Northwest Passage with Spencer Tracy, watch that. That was my fifth great granduncle. Spencer Tracy played my fifth great granduncle. I'm not sure if my fifth great grandfather was with him or not, but he achieved my fifth great grandfather achieved a higher rank than his more famous brother. And his brother was more famous than George Washington. George Washington wouldn't let him join the Continental Army because he considered him to be a spy for the British. But really, George Washington didn't want him to join the Continental Army because he was more popular than George and would have taken over command. And the first president would have been one of my ancestors' brother. So, and then his brother was my fifth great grandfather, Colonel James Rogers, and he conspired with Ethan Allen to make Vermont independent of Great Britain and the United States. And so while him and Ethan Allen were conspiring, their children, Mary Ann Allen and James Rogers, when you read about it, they don't put the 1, 2, and 3 after, for James the original and James Jr. and James the Third. They don't have that, but he had his father and grandfather were both James. So anyhow, my fourth great grandparents are Mary Ann Allen and James Rogers. And a cousin of mine told me that my great great granduncle James Harrison Rogers, he donated Ethan Allen's blunderbuss to the River Falls Historical Society. And not long after that, it turns up in somebody's possession in Connecticut and stuff, and then ends up, it's at Fort Ticonderoga now. But it had Ethan Allen, that was his great-grandfather's gun. So my great-great-grandmother, her great-grandfather was Ethan Allen and James Rogers. I got a lot of rebel blood. My one book, Concise Account of North America, it's on Amazon, is Robert Rogers' book about the colonies and what their chief crops were and their imports and exports, and they got a penny on every cigar or something, and all the tobacco in the South, Connecticut was like a fine cask of whiskey with a tap at either end. Uh, and it said that like the Catholics were Boston. That's where the Catholic and all that. So the Protestants and things like that, when the Irish came and all that, we can't have you here in New England. You got to go up there and live in New Hampshire. We'll give you New Hampshire because you're a bunch of Irish and Scots, you know. But the Rhode Island was where the scoundrels, the Jews and the Muslims had to live in Rhode Island. And some were in Manhattan, you know. The Jews, some of the Jews in Manhattan, he says. But he called them scoundrels. Still scoundrels, trying to cause wars. And I had to turn my burner down. Turn it down to simmer. Keep it warm. I don't need 10-inch bubbles of boiling tea. Okay. So, yeah, the Brady Bunch ain't going to tell you about that stuff, you know? They ain't going to tell you. What percentage of their guests have never had boots on the ground and stuff? The one guy, that guy they had on there the other day, he had a good point about the proxy thing and all that, and that's where I go with the art. The Trove, it says treasures. Okay? If you find that Trove, you get the other Trove. Yeah. Troy Barlow. That was his name? I thought. Okay. Yep, that was his name. He's he somewhat had it right, but he don't agree with mice, so he can't see these shapes, and so he can't subscribe, you know. and so if you have these things that say, I'm not allowed to go there. Other people told me that that's nuts and don't go there. So, and the people really still follow the Brady Bunch because they got more followers. They're more popular, so we believe them more, you know. And the news people aren't gonna talk to me because I'm sure they've maybe noticed me, and they maybe asked Forrest Fenn, and Forrest Fenn told them, he's the craziest guy I know. And all he's telling him, that guy's just as crazy as me. He knows what I did. Yeah. Geronimo. Okay, see, he mentioned Captain Kidd, but you always remember these people are subtle. So Geronimo might be just a hint to another famous Indian that he couldn't mention, but he mentioned some. He'll mention something, but I don't know who the chief was 14,000 years ago. There was no Geronimo 14,000 years ago. So, and I wonder about the back of the book. There's just one. Doop. And when he dies, it'd just be an asterisk in a book. So, well, I'm doing all right after engaging with that. Okay. So, yeah, I got these things at Walmart for $4.99. Well, it's not in the case, but it's one of them, the little magnet clip thing, because I got the magnet bar. So now I got a whole bunch of these things to put on future phones so they got the magnet thing on them. And it holds the phone really good. So I got two of them, one for the car and one for in here. And so yeah, maybe I can get some other videos done while I'm driving, but that's distracting, really. It was fun, but it's kind of too distracting. You shouldn't do that when you're driving. At least not and have a screen to look at, you know. If you just had a camera, it's a different thing because you're not trying to read a screen. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna do the hat trick game. I'm gonna order some other pictures and stuff, and but I'll do another hat trick. Next week, my cardboard tubes for shipping will be here. Because I don't like to have something that I don't have something to put it in to ship it, and somebody's waiting for it. So nobody's going to be waiting for it. I'll have the tubes. um, so again, yeah, alone in the wood, alone in there, alone in the wood. The wood is art. Alone in the art. He went alone in the arts. He went into an art business alone. And I've gone this alone. Not a lot of followers. But, yep. Gypsies don't have a clue. Yeah. Don't follow the Brady Bunch. They'll have you looking in the wrong place. This where he went. He came up into Colorado. He crossed the line. He's crossed his line. He drew a line there at that border, and it wasn't up here. Now he's up here. Don't get too close to my thing. I'll chase you off my claim. I may be able to arrange getting a claim on it. So, yeah, that'd be interesting. It'd be nice to have a claim there. Have a helicopter put a trailer up on the hill for me. Be up there hidden and nobody would see me. Just like the treasure. But, yeah, you can see that this artwork from distance. You know how you can see it from, how you could be within 15 feet and not see the treasure. Because I can see this stuff from hundreds of feet away. And he can't, and he knows that the treasure's still there. The treasure, if the treasure is the art on the mountains and stuff, it's not going anywhere. And it's worth the cold to wait for his cold dead hands. And at that point, Doug Preston will pull the 35 Plymouth out of his garage and probably put it on a trailer and drive it up to the museum in Denver and unload it and and leave it there. And then I'll get a letter or an email or something telling me to go and see so and so. Or I don't know. You don't have to take it all the way up there. I'm right here. You can stop right up here in Blanca with it, Doug. Under the blaze, under the white Blanca. There's not much snow. They got a little snow the other day. There's some snow on the hills yesterday. And I had the pronghorns crossing my lot this morning. Dog didn't even go chasing them. I was like, wow, you're a dumb dog. You can't see them? Okay. Well, that's enough. 40 minutes. I've covered what I want. What I was going to cover. I got to make me little notes of what are my subjects to put me back on track, because I can get sidetracked and out on the fringes there. But go up and search maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, huh? Yeah. Okay. Talk to you later.